Welcome back to Bobblehead Homestead. I am Jeff. Today is Tuesday. I am back up at the new place. We left you off in the last video was Saturday. I had some awesome help. Can't thank them enough. Gary from Junk to Gems, Anson from Ivy's Family Factotum, and of course Drew from Drew's Lens. They were all out here. Dogman stopped by for a while. And we were in a hurry to leave, so I didn't give you much of a recap. So I am going to do that today. It's just myself up here today. And all right, it is cold. It is super windy. I think it's like 32 degrees today. Super windy. Yep. All right. I'm going to rough it, though, to get you guys a video. Let's do a recap on Saturday and where we're at so far and where I am going next. First up on Saturday was the water. Got a little mess here now, but this blue box, that's the water meter. They had put that in a while ago. And then Drew's job was to run all the water line outside, all of the water lines that need to be buried. So he dug the trenches, laid the water lines, and then you call the water company for what's called a rough-in inspection. So, and that's what this garbage can thing is for. You can't see it, it's underwater, but there's like a backflow check valve, there's a pressure regulator, and there's a shutoff valve in there. And so, yeah, the idea was to put it in there, and anyway. So, we didn't get that job finished, and now it's underwater, but that's all right. So that was just the rough-in inspection so that they could test the underground water lines before they get buried. And so that happened first thing on Saturday. Drew had never done this before, and so he was kind of anxious to see how it all turned out, and it all turned out good for him. So they were just, you know, checking for leaks before you bury it, because nobody wants to waste water. And so he has this hydrant and another hydrant. We'll walk over there too. But so that's all it was the outdoor water lines. And so they did the inspection and they turned the water on. That's not the final say on the water. It is not on in the house yet. There is no water in the house yet. That's another inspection that will be coming up. But now he is okay to bury these water lines, and he'll probably start working on that next time he gets out there. But yeah, next step will be, I gotta walk around. Once we've got them buried, then we can run the water lines into the house and get the house turned on, and they'll inspect it before we can turn the house on. Here we have the water line coming all the way down there, and here's where it goes into the house. There's a shutoff valve right there, and that's turned off. And we don't have so it's not hooked up inside the house. We still have some work to do in there before we can come back for the next inspection. Okay, back in there is where the water line comes into the house. This water heater goes back in there. So when we were moving it, we had to disconnect it and all that stuff. So now, once the outside line's buried, we can get the water heater back to where it needs to go, and then hook up the house. So the rest of the house, the plumbing, as far as water is incoming water, the rest of the house, you know, I've lived in here for 3 years, so the rest of the house is good. There is no drainage yet, and I'll be talking about that here in a minute. But yep, house, the water is not on yet, and so we got to finish burying the outside lines, get everything hooked up in here, and then we'll get another inspection on the house water lines, and then we're okay to have water in the house, except you got to have drainage too. when we moved the house, we had to cut all the drainage lines that were underneath it. So all of the plumbing underneath the house still has to be done for the drainage lines. And the drainage has to go somewhere, and that is the septic system. So right now we've got, the water is on, but it's conditional that we keep progressing, that we get the house hooked up and then that we get the septic system put in. If we do not get the septic system put in, they will turn the water off. So the water is not done, and we got to get the septic system going. So there's some white flags that go out. Where this puddle is, that's about where the septic tank is going to go, and then the leach lines will go out there. Those trees, yeah. So those trees have to go out, and then the septic lines, there'll be 2 of them, and they'll be headed in that direction, like 65 feet, something like that. And so there are a lot of trees that need to come out for the septic system and leach field to go into place. So that will be the next big project, is the septic. Looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, you know, maybe a dozen. Oh, we're going back in there. So probably a good dozen trees. You know, I tried to save them. Originally, the septic was going to go that way, but he changed his mind. The septic designer guy changed his mind. So now we're going to go that way with the leach lines, and that means a bunch of these trees will have to go out. So that is going to be a big project to get those trees out. Then we can dig the hole for the septic tank, and also dig the trenches for the leach lines. Also in those leach lines, I will need gravel on the bottom of those leach lines. So that's going to be another purchase, along with the septic tank and all the piping and all that stuff. So it's not, I'm not moving in next week. This is a big job that needs to be taken care of, because I don't want to, you know, anything can happen. And if I move out here and then they turn my water off because the septic isn't done, well then that is not a good situation. So before I move, the septic will need to be done and hooked up and all that stuff. And so yeah, without the septic, there is no drainage. I might have water in the house, but there will be no drainage, nowhere for the water to go once you turn it on. And that's so that'll have to wait on the septic system. So that's the big future. Let's get a closer look at what Gary and Anson and Drew and Dogman were working on Saturday. So Drew had already dug the trench. That's the electric pole. That's where my electricity is going to come from, and it's going to go in this trench and right over here. And this is what was done Saturday. So on the right there, that's the meter box. So that's where the main line will come into the meter box, and then that is my main breaker box. And so from that main breaker box, I will go into the house, and I've got it's now becoming a sub panel back there in the bedroom. And what Drew was under there working on was he was running the conduit from the breaker box in the bedroom. And so now it's in conduit all the way up here and up into the breaker box. So all of that was done Saturday. That this I don't know what you call it, panel, you know, the wood posts with the 2x4s back there, they constructed all of that, and we'll have to dig it in, but you can't do that until they run the water line. So the next step is to call the electric company, and they will be running the electric from the pole over to here. And yeah, so that was my main thing. I wanted to come here today is get a picture of this and call the electric company and hopefully get that going. All right, so the house is hooked in. I think it's pretty much ready to go. Then I'll also be running electricity out of this box and Drew's already got the trench and taken electricity over to the storage shed. That way I can run a RV hookup out there, and I'll also have electricity in that storage shed to run the energizers for my electric fencing and whatever else I'm gonna need out there. There's also a spigot that's gonna go on the back corner of that storage shed. So yeah, all right, that's what's coming up on the electricity. Is they'll be running their line to the meter box, and then yeah, then we're off to the races on the electricity. And then that's the end of the requirements from the electric company. Just this meter box and making sure it passes all of their specifications. And then once that's done, then Drew can also bury the electric lines, and as you can see, it cuts off my driveway there, and the water line cuts out the driveway over there. So yeah, the sooner sooner we get that done, the better. Hopefully, yeah, anyway. So now, yeah, when is it gonna be done? When? Everybody wants to know when. Well, you can see it's kind of soupy. It's kind of soupy out here. So driving this big old John Deere backhoe would in the mud, yeah, you're gonna create a big old mess with big old ruts. So yeah, some of this stuff might have to wait until, you know, weather permitting, and that's just how it goes sometime. Yes, it turns out I need some firewood. Drew has already done all the hard work and started putting it in all the future hugel culture rows. But yeah, I've got about 2-3 days of firewood left at home, and we've got some cold weather coming up that's gonna last a lot longer than the next 2 or 3 days. So I'm gonna start stealing some firewood here. It's gotta be less than 8 inches thick to fit into my wood stove. So I'll be picking and choosing what I can out there. I've got some tubs, and that'll get me by for 2 or 3 days, filling those 2 tubs and taking them back. All right, I'm gonna get to work. Should have brought a tape measure with me. Luckily I had this in the back of the Suburban. So it's looks like 7 inches from there to there. So I know I can only go just a little bit past there on the sizes that I snag. There we go. That should do me for a couple days. A lot of these are longer than what my wood stove will take, so I'm also gonna grab my chainsaw so that I can trim some of those in half. Most of them I'll have to trim in half. And I'll use what I got left while this stuff dries out a little bit, because we just got a good amount of rain out here. So they're a little bit soggy, and well, yeah, you just got to deal with it. So all right, I'm gonna grab my chainsaw and get out of here. It is cold. 20 gallons of gas for $18.78. Yeah, it's been a while since I cashed in my Casey's rewards. Hey, the sun is peeking through the clouds. That's the first time in a few days we've had the sun out, but it's gonna freeze tonight. Yes, it is. It's freezing right now. So I gotta get home. It's 4 o'clock. I'm probably 20 minutes away from home, and I've got to do water for all 5 flocks. Stick that water in the well house, so it can stay warm overnight. And so first thing in the morning, that means carrying water first thing in the morning out to all the chickens. So I got to do that when I get home and unload some of this firewood. Some of that can wait till tomorrow. I will need to saw some of that firewood in half so that it will fit into my wood stove. I don't need to do that tonight. And what else? Yeah, I cannot thank Gary and Anson enough for all their work on that electric, and Dogman for stopping by. He was helpful. And of course Drew, he had never done any of this stuff before, so that's yeah, he passed his first. I was more happy for him. Passed his first water inspection. No leaks anywhere. It's all good with the 2 hydrants and going up to the house, so cool beans there. Waiting on the electric guy. We'll set up an appointment with him, and might be rocking and rolling on the electric here coming up. And then once the electric's set up, that we still have to run the line out to the storage shed. I've got everything for that. And then Drew can bury all of the lines for the water and electric and get started on the septic. So yeah, moving along. I don't do things as fast and as expensive as some other folks do, but I am very happy with where I'm at right now. Yeah, I've been getting more "you should" comments lately, and the thing about "you should" comments is a lot of them you're just telling me you should spend money you don't have. Great suggestions, backup generator, yeah, that'd be great if I had the money. Putting in a mini split instead of using space heaters and window air conditioners, yeah, that'd be great if I had the money. That stuff is not in my budget. I am not complaining. I'm happy with what I've got so far, and I should have enough to finish the septic and get moved over there. I probably will not have enough left over to rebuild the kitchen. Yeah, so I mean, I can rebuild it cheaper than putting it back like it was. I did have a Lazy Susan and another lower cabinet there, but yeah, man, that's like $700-800 for those 2 brand new pieces they'd match the other cabinet. Anyway, yeah, I'm probably not going to have enough left for that. I still need to fix the floor there by the back door. But I'm happy that I'm going to be able to get moved there relatively comfortably thanks to YouTube. Oh yeah, one thing, Saturday, one of the reasons we were in a rush is some of us got together Saturday night and played a little Texas Hold'em poker over at O'Rourke's Little Field. Kind of a last minute throw together poker game. That was pretty fun. Gary from Junk to Gems went, and Drew and Lindsay, and me, and Kevin and Jamie, and I think Drew won, but yeah, we kind of just scrambled there at the end because it was getting kind of late. But yeah, that was fun. It really was fun. I haven't played poker with other people for probably 20 years. Yeah, we had a little game going back in when would that have been? Late 90s, early 2000s. So I have played quite a bit of Texas Hold'em. But yeah, I lost. Let's see, I put Gary all in. I kind of bullied him out, and then Kevin put me all in, and he bullied me out. And then I don't know where. I think Kevin and Lindsay got into it for a little bit, and then Drew won it all there on the last hand. So that was fun. We'll have to do that again, or something like it. Just a few minutes away from home now. It's about an hour from where I'm living now here in Waldron up to my new place in Boonville. Big thanks to everybody who's been helping me out, not only this year, but last year. Well, this year's only been a few days, but this year, yeah, Gary and Anson and Dogman stopping by, and Drew. But last year, all the help that I got to get me to this point, you know, after I lost my income, that was a huge loss. And thanks to all the help, I've been able to turn that into a dream coming true. Anyway, thank you. Thanks to all my members. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do more with sending pictures to the members community area. I'm gonna try to do that more this year, is that member section, because you guys have been probably, what, 9 months now, some of you have been members, and man, that has been a huge help, knowing that I've got a little bit of, you know, guaranteed monthly income coming in from the membership, because it's going to be a while before I'm selling baby chicks. It's, you know, it'll probably be 2 months after I move before I'll have any baby chicks to sell. And so I gotta, that's in my budget also, is I have to have enough left over to live on for those couple months. So all the members, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I will try to be doing more in there. All right, I'm gonna stop yapping. We're almost home. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything, and take it easy.